In John 14, Jesus is in the midst of a conversation that he's having with his disciples.
Johannese 14. peatükis on Jeesus keset vestlust oma jüngritega.
This is one time when dividing by chapters do not do justice.
See on nüüd üks koht, kus see peatükkideks jagamine ei ole päris õige.
Because you're not dealing in this sense with chapters, you're dealing with conversation.
Sellepärast, et siin ei puuduta asi peatükke, vaid vestlust.
And I think you understand that God does not speak to us on the basis of chapter and verse anyway.
Ja ma usun, et te mõistate, et Jumal ei räägi ju meiega vastavalt peatükile ja salmile, salmi numbrile.
He doesn't speak to us that way.
Ta ei räägi meiega nii.
He doesn't say, verse 1, you are my son and daughter. Verse 2, I love you.
Ta ei ütle meile nii, et salm 1, sina oled mu poeg ja mu tütar. Salm 2, ma armastan sind.
That's not how God speaks with us. That is not even how you speak with your children.
Jumal ei räägi nii, sa ei räägi oma lastega ka nõnda.
You have a conversation with them.
Sa vestled nendega.
So if I'm going to understand John 14 in this sequence,
Nii et kui ma tahan mõista Johannese 14. peatükki selle õiges kohas,
then I need to discover where and what this conversation was about.
siis ma pean avastama, et kus ja millest see vestlus käis.
In the past, people would, of course, preach this chapter to miserable Christians.
Minevikus on jutlustatud seda peatükki õnnetutele kristlastele.
Because most Christians were too miserable to live in the earth.
Sellepärast, et enamus kristlasi oli liiga suures masenduses, et maa peal elada.
Most Christians could not see beyond poverty.
Ja enamus kristlasi ei näinud kaugemale kui vaesus.
And they figured that the only way they would ever live in a mansion is to go to heaven.
Ja nad mõtlesid, et ainus viis, kuidas nad iial saaks mõisas elada, on taevas olla.
Since they had no vision to get a mansion in the earth.
Neil ei olnud nagu visiooni selleks, et mõisa maa peal saada.
So it was easy to apply John 14 to someday in the sweet by and by when we go to heaven.
Ja siis oli kerge seda 14. peatükki rakendada või mõelda, et see on ühel päeval, kui me kunagi taevasse saame.
And it was one of the favorite rapture scriptures that was used by the Pentecostals that I related to.
Ja see oli üks peamisi ülesvõtmise kirjakohti, mida 4 põhilased, kellega mina suhtlesin, kasutasid.
The way that we would do it is that when church service would start, if everyone was looking miserable, we just strike up and say, some glad morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away.
Kui me tulime teenistusele kokku ja enamik inimesi näisid sellised õnnetud ja masenduses olevat, siis me alustasime niimoodi, et ühel päeval, kui kõik see on möödas, me ükskord kõik lendame minema.
That was the way to bring everyone's happy face on.
See oli see viis, kuidas kõigile tuua rõõmus nägu pähe.
It's much easier to sing and minister when people have a happy face rather than a sad face.
Palju kergem on laulda ja teenida sõnaga, kui kõigil on rõõmus nägu peas.
Many times you had women who had been struggling with their husbands or children. You had men who had problems on their jobs, and they all looked sad when we came together.
Sageli olid naised, kellel oli olnud raskusi laste ja meestega ja meestel, kellel oli olnud raskusi tööga ja kõigil olid niisugused kurvad näod peas.
So we would strike up and sing that song and get everybody happy.
Ja siis me alustasime selle lauluga, et kõik rõõmsaks muutusid.
And we would base it upon John chapter 14.
Ja meie alus selleks oli Johannese 14 peatükk.
So when the Lord began to give us greater revelation,
Nii et kui Isand hakkas andma meile suuremat ilmutust
and he said, this is not about going to heaven.
ja ta ütles, et asi ei ole taevasse minemises või see ei räägi taevasse minemisest,
This is about you living in the earth.
vaid see räägib sellest, kui sa elad maa peal.
And so when I realized that John 14 was about us living in the earth, I said, wait a minute, let me go back and see what this conversation is about.
Nii et kui ma mõistsin, et see räägib maa peal elamisest, siis ma mõtlesin, et ma lähen tagasi ja uurin, millest see vestlus siin räägib siis.
John 14 verse 1 says, read it from your Bible.
Johannese 14 salm 1 ütleb, lugege oma piiblist.
14:1.
14.1. Teie süda ärgu ehmugu. Uskuge Jumalasse ja uskuge minusse.
Does it say Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me.
Kas mitte Jeesus ei ütle, et ärge laske oma südamel muret tekitada või muresse minna, uskuge Jumalasse, uskuge minusse.
Is that what it says?
Kas ütleb nii, ärge ehmuge, ärge
Now I got to have your participation today.
Te peate nüüd osalema.
Is that what it says?
Kas nii ütleb?
Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me.
Ärgu teie süda ehmuge, ärgu see olgu mures. Uskuge Jumalasse, uskuge minusse.
Did you ever ask the question, why were their hearts troubled?
Kas sa iial küsisid, et miks nende süda oli mures?
How many of you have asked that question?
Kui paljud teist on küsinud selle küsimuse?
Why were their hearts troubled?
Miks nad võisid ehmuda, mures olla?
Why did Jesus identify internal turmoil going on in them?
Miks Jeesus märkis ära selle sisemise segaduse, mis nende sees oli toimumas?
And then he had to address that.
Ja siis ta pidi nagu rääkima sellest.
The answer is simple.
Vastus on lihtne.
Look at the previous things he had just spoken.
Vaata neid eelnevaid asju, millest ta oli just rääkinud nendega.
Look at where the conversation began.
Vaata, kus see vestlus alguse sai.
And you must go back into John chapter 13 and verse 31.
Ja sa pead minema siis Johannese 13 ja salm 31.
What you will find in John 13:31 as far as the setting is concerned.
Mida sa leiad siis Johannese 13:36, mis on nagu taustaks?
In the English Bible, it begins this way. Therefore, when he was gone out. John 13:31.
Kui nüüd, jah, tema oli lahkunud või Juudas oli lahkunud.
The he that has been spoken of here in this verse is Judas.
Siin räägitakse siis Juudasest, kes oli lahkunud.
When Judas had gone out, Jesus said, now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him.
Kui nüüd Juudas oli lahkunud, ütles Jeesus, nüüd on inimese poeg kirgastatud ja Jumal on temas kirgastatud.
This is the beginning of a conversation. In fact, it is the final conversation that Jesus has before he's taken by the Pharisees and the scribes to crucify him.
Nii et see on siis selle vestluse algus ja tegelikult see on viimase vestluse algus, mis tal oli enne, kui variserid ja kirjatundjad ta kinni võtsid, et teda risti lüüa.
So from this point onward, what I want you to do is read John 13:31 all the way to John 18 as one conversation.
Nii et nüüd ma tahan, et sa vaataksid Johannese 13. peatüki 31. salmist alates kuni 18. peatükini kui ühte vestlust.
Because the conversation does not conclude until after he prays in John 17.
Sest vestlus ei lõpe enne, kui ta palvetab Johannese 17. peatükis.
And then when you look at John chapter 18, that is when they come to collect him for the purpose of crucifixion.
Ja kui sa vaatad 18. peatükki, siis see on see koht, kus tullakse teda vangi võtma.
Because what 18 verse 1 says, when Jesus had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Kedron, where was a garden, into the which he entered, and his disciples.
18.1 ütleb, kui Jeesus seda oli rääkinud, lahkus ta oma jüngritega üle Kidroni jõe. Seal oli aed, kuhu ta läks oma jüngritega.
So, do you see what I'm saying here to you this morning?
Kas te näete, mida ma teile püüan öelda?
So if you try to isolate John 14 by itself, you're going to miss some very, very important details.
Kui sa püüad seda Johannese 14. peatükki võtta eraldi seisvana, siis sa ei näe või pane tähele väga olulisi asju.
Now I want to go back to chapter 13 and verse 31.
Nüüd lähme tagasi 13.31.
I want you to note that the attitude and the opinion of Jesus concerning these matters was not as most people think.
Ma tahan, et sa märkaksid, et Jeesuse suhtumine või arusaamine nendest asjadest oli teistsugune kui see, mida enamus inimesi arvavad.
He was functioning from the God kind of mind.
Ta toimis lähtuvalt jumalikust meelest.
And so therefore he understood that it would please the Lord to bruise him.
Ja seetõttu ta mõistis, et see oli Jumalale meelepärane, et ta pidi kannatama.
He understood that this was not a situation in which man was taking advantage of him.
Ta mõistis, et see ei olnud olukord, kus inimesed nagu kuritarvitasid teda või said võimust tema üle.
In fact, Paul said, if men had known they were crucifying the Lord of glory, they would have never done it.
Ja tegelikult Paulus ütleb, et kui inimesed oleks mõistnud, et nad löövad au kuninga risti, siis nad ei oleks seda iial teinud.
So part of what is going on here is the hidden wisdom of God.
Nii et üks asi, mis siin on toimumas, on nagu peidetud Jumala tarkus.
But Jesus understood clearly that in this hour he had been ordained for this.
Aga Jeesus mõistis, et teda oli nagu ordineeritud selleks tunniks.
So he said, now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him.
Ja ta ütleb, et nüüd on Jumal temas kirgastatud. Kui Jumal on temas kirgastatud, siis kirgastab Jumal temas ka ennast.
If God be glorified in him, God shall also glorify him in himself, and shall straightway glorify him. Verse 32.
Kui Jumal on temas kirgastatud, siis kirgastab Jumal temas ka ennast ja ta kirgastab teda just nüüd.
I have found that when people are about to leave this earth, they do not talk about unimportant things.
Ma olen märganud, et kui inimesed hakkavad lahkuma siit ilmast, siis nad ei räägi ebaolulistest asjadest.
They do not have the time to waste their words.
Neil ei ole aega, et oma sõnu raisata.
I remember when my father and my mother both were leaving the earth. Their words were few, but their words were profound.
Ma mäletan nii hetkel, kui mu ema oli lahkumas, kui ka mu isa. Nad rääkisid vähe, aga nende sõnad olid sügavad.
So what would Jesus choose to speak about at this time?
Nii et millest valis Jeesus rääkida sel hetkel?
Knowing that he had taught them the things pertaining to the kingdom of God the entire time they were with him.
Teades, et ta oli rääkinud neile kuningriigi asjadest kogu selle aja, kui nad olid temaga.
Look at his theme.
Vaata tema teemat.
In verse 33 he said, little children, yet a little while I am with ye shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come, so now I say to you.
Salm 33 ütleb, lapsed, ma olen teiega veel pisut aega. Te hakkate mind otsima ja nagu ma ütlesin juutidele, kuhu mina lähen, sinna ei saa teie tulla. Nii ütlen ma praegu ka teile.
This verse reveals the source of their troubled hearts.
See salm ilmutab, mis on nende mures oleva südame põhjus.
Because there was nothing in them that could handle or understand why Jesus would leave them.
Sest nende sees ei olnud midagi, mis oleks suutnud mõista või hakkama saada sellega, et Jeesus jätab nad maha.
There was nothing in their philosophy about the Messiah that said he would leave them.
Nende filosoofias Messia kohta ei olnud midagi sellist, mis oleks andnud märku, et Messias lahkub neist.
In fact, what they had been traditionally taught was that when Messiah come, he would remain.
Ja mida traditsionaalselt neile oli õpetatud, oli see, et kui Messias tuleb, siis ta jääb.
And here it is, Messiah is telling them, I am about to go someplace and you're not going to see me and you cannot come with me.
Ja siin nüüd oli Messias, kes ütles neile, et ma mõne aja pärast lähen ära ja te ei näe mind enam ja kuhu ma lähen, sinna teie ei saa tulla.
Do you think that might would produce a troubled heart?
Mis te arvate, kas see võis tekitada sellise küsimuse, segaduse, mure nende südames?
Think about it. You've been hanging out with Jesus for the last 3.5 years, and now he's telling you, you can't hang out with me right now.
Kas te kujutate ette, sa oled veetnud Jeesusega aega umbes 3,5 aastat ja siis ta ütleb sulle, et no nüüd te ei saa enam minuga aega veeta.
What are you going to do with that?
Mida sa siis sellega peale hakkad?
I'll tell you what most people do.
Ma ütlen, mida enamus inimesi teevad.
They get troubled in their hearts.
Südamesse tekib mure.
So how does Jesus deal with the trouble that is in their hearts?
Nii et kuidas siis Jeesus tegeleb selle murega, mis nende südames on?
Look at how he begins to deal with it.
Vaatame, kuidas ta alustab sellega.
Verse 34 says, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
Salm 34 ütleb, ma annan teile uue käsu. Armastage üksteist, nõnda nagu mina teid olen armastanud, armastage teiegi üksteist.
The beauty of this is that Jesus begins to dispel their trouble by talking to them about love.
Selle asja ilu on selles, et Jeesus hakkab nagu hajutama nende mure sellega, et ta hakkab rääkima neile armastusest.
Is this the first time that God ever talked to them about love?
Kas see on esimene kord, mil Jumal neile armastusest rääkis?
Is it the first time?
Kas see on esimene kord?
I hear the front row.
Esimest rida kuulsin, kuidas teistega on.
What about everybody else? It is not the first time, is it?
Ei ole esimene kord.
Why then did he say a new commandment?
Miks ta siis ütles, et uue käsu?
You see, I would look at it this way. If I'm saying something to Tina for the first time, that would be new to her.
Ma vaataks seda nii, kui ma ütlen Tiinale midagi esimest korda, siis see oleks talle uus.
But if I had spoken it before, it would not be new in that sense. It would be repeated.
Aga kui ma talle olen midagi varem öelnud, siis see ei oleks enam uus, vaid see oleks nagu kordus.
So what makes this new?
Mis selle siis uueks teeb?
It is the final thing that he says to them concerning the commandment.
See on viimane või lõplik asi, mida ta ütleb neile selle käsu kohta.
He said that you love one another even as I have loved you.
Ta ütles, et te armastaksite ühte teist isegi nii, nagu mina olen armastanud teid.
That's the thing that made it new.
See on see, mis tegi selle uueks.
Because they had heard God through the law tell them to love one another.
Sellepärast, et nad olid kuulnud Jumalat rääkimas läbi käsu või läbi seaduse, et nad peavad ühte teist armastama.
In fact, what we call Deuteronomy 6 verse 4 hearing
Ja tegelikult see, mida me teame 5. Moosese 6. peatükk kuulge.
The Bible says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one."
Piibel ütleb, et kuule Iisrael, issand su Jumal on üks.
And you shall love the Lord your God.
Ja sa pead armastama issandat oma Jumalat.
He said basically with all of your heart, with all of your strength, with all of your understanding. In other words, completely everything that makes you should love the Lord.
Ja ta ütles, et sa pead teda armastama kogu oma jõuga, kogu oma hingega, kogu oma meelega. Teisisõnu, kõigega, mis teeb sind.
Now they had heard these words from the moment that they were able to attend the synagogue.
Nemad olid kuulnud seda sõna või seda käsku alates sellest, kui nad hakkasid sünagoogis käima.
Now the other love message was, you must love your neighbor as yourself.
Ja teine armastuse sõnum oli see, et sa pead armastama oma ligimest nagu iseennast.
And the third aspect of this was that you were to love the stranger because at one time you were strangers.
Ja kolmas aspekt oli see, et sa pead armastama võõrast, sellepärast, et sa ise kunagi olid võõras.
So God said, love him, love your neighbor, love the stranger.
Nii et Jumal ütles, et armasta teda, armasta oma ligimest, armasta võõrast.
This was a message that they were very familiar with.
See oli sõnum, millega nad olid väga tuttavad.
But never before had they heard God in flesh say, love even as I have loved you.
Aga nad kunagi ei olnud kuulnud Jumalat lihas ütlemas, et armasta isegi nii, nagu mina olen sind armastanud.
You see, what Jesus did was he raised the bar of their ability to love.
Ja mida Jeesus tegi, oli see, et ta tõstis nagu nende armastuse võime standardit.
How did he love?
Kuidas ta armastas?
He loved sacrificially.
Ta armastas ohverduslikult.
He loved unconditionally.
Ta armastas tingimusteta.
That's how he loved.
Ta armastas nii.
He loved as one laying his life down for a friend.
Ta armastas nii nagu see, kes asetab maha oma elu oma sõbra eest.
That's how he loved.
Ta armastas nii.
In other words, he died when they should have been dying.
Teisisõnu, tema suri, kui nemad oleks pidanud surema.
That's sacrificial love.
See on ohvrimeelne armastus.
Now, probably if I ask you, do you love me? You would probably say yes, being nice.
Ilmselt, kui ma küsin sinult, et kas sa armastad mind, siis sa lihtsalt tahad kena olla ja ütled jaa.
But if I ask you, would you take a bullet for me?
aga kui ma küsin sult, et kas sa võtaksid Kooli minu eest,
Probably you would back up and say, I love you, but I don't love you that much.
siis sa ilmselt ütleb, ma armastan sind küll, aga mitte nii palju.
You see, in our language today, when Jesus was crucified in our stead, he took the bullet for us.
Meie keeles me võiksime öelda, kui Jeesus suri meie eest, siis ta võttis Kooli meie eest.
See, that's how you must think about it. See, you got to think about it within the context of the culture you live in.
Nii et see on see, kuidas me peaksime mõtlema, sa peaks mõtlema selles kultuuri kontekstis, kus me elame.
When we should have been crucified and deserved death, Jesus died in our stead.
Kui meie oleksime pidanud saama risti löödud ja surema, siis Jeesus suri meie eest.
He said, now, this is how I want you to love now.
Ja Jeesus ütleb, et vot niimoodi ma tahan, et te armastaksite.
Can you see why they need some extra help to do this?
Kas sa nüüd näed, miks nad vajavad veidi lisaabi, et seda teha?
Because most people are selfish.
Sest enamik inimesi on isekad.
Let's be honest about it.
Oleme ausad.
Now, you may tell Kirsty, I love you, but I'm not going to take the bullet for you.
Sa võid öelda, et Kersti, ma armastan sind, aga Kooli ma su eest ei võta.
Without the help of the Holy Ghost.
Ilma püha vaimu abita.
Am I right?
On nii?
Am I right?
On mul õigus?
So understanding that Jesus raised the bar of love.
Nii et mõistes, et Jeesus tõstis armastuse standardit.
He went on to tell them in verse 35, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
Ja salmis 35 ta jätkab, sellest tunnevad kõik, et te olete minu jüngrid, kui te üksteist armastate.
Have you ever written a check hoping that the money would be in the bank by the time the check was submitted? You don't write checks. You skip the check altogether. All right. I have
Küsis
to
tšeki
think.
kirjutamise kohta, aga meil ei ole tšekke, me ei kasuta tšekki eriti.
You see, in America, we write checks.
Ameerikas me kirjutame tšekke.
And right now, be an American rather than an Estonian.
Ja olles nüüd ameeriklane, mitte eestlane.
Because what a check really is just a promissory note.
Tšekk põhimõtteliselt on lihtsalt selline luba andev.
Let me illustrate it this way. It would be like if I came to Pastor Levy and I made an agreement to buy a certain amount of honey.
See oleks umbes nii, nagu ma tulen pastor Leevi juurde ja me teeme lepingu või nõustun, et ma ostan teatud hulga mett.
And so once we both agreed on this, in America, I would write him what we call a check.
Ja kui me oleme nagu kokkuleppele jõudnud, siis Ameerikas ma kirjutaksin talle tšeki.
And I would give Pastor Levy this check.
Ja annaksin pastor Leevile selle tšeki siis.
Now, my check is backed up by a bank.
Ja minu tšeki siis garanteerib pank, mu tšeki.
And so what Pastor Levy would do is take that check and submit it to my bank.
Ja siis pastor Leevi läheb sellega ja viib selle panka.
What the banker would do is check my record.
Ja siis pankur vaatab minu seda väljavõtet.
To see if I have enough funds to cover the amount on that check.
Et näha, kas mul on piisavalt finantse, et seda tšeki katta.
Now, it would be unfair if I have Pastor Levy's honey, but he cannot get his money from my checking account.
Ja see oleks nüüd küll väga ebaõiglane, kui minul on mesi juba käes, aga tema ei saa seda raha minu arvelt.
In America, that is called bouncing a check.
Ja Ameerikas seda nimetatakse tšeki tagasilükkamiseks.
It means that you don't have enough funds to back up that check.
See tähendab, et sul ei ole piisavalt finantse, et siis seda tšeki garanteerida.
So what we have come up with is a saying. Every country has sayings.
Ja siis meil on üks selline ütlus, igas riigis on oma ütlused.
You have just written a check that you cannot cash.
Et sa oled kirjutanud tšeki, mida sa ei saa sularahaks teha.
Now, do you think that would make Pastor Levy very happy?
Mis sa arvad, kas see teeks pastor Leevi väga rõõmsaks?
More than likely not.
Ilmselt mitte.
Because I have his goods and he has no money.
Sest minul on tema kaup, aga temal minu raha pole.
Peter is about to write a check he cannot cash yet.
Ja Peetrus on nüüd siin kirjutamas tšeki, mida ta ei saa sularahaks teha.
Because verse 36 says,
Salm 36 ütleb,
Simon Peter said unto him, Lord, whither goest thou? Jesus answered him, Whither I go, thou canst not follow me now, The operative word is now. But thou shalt follow me afterwards.
Siimon Peetrus küsis temalt, issand, kuhu sa lähed? Jeesus vastas, kuhu mina lähen, sinna ei saa sina mulle praegu järgneda, aga sa järgned hiljem.
Verse 37, Peter said unto him, Lord, why cannot I follow thee now? I will lay down my life for thy sake.
Peetrus ütles talle, issand, miks ma siis praegu ei saa sulle järgneda? Ma annan oma elu sinu eest.
He had just written a check he couldn't cash.
Ta just kirjutas tšeki, mida ta ei suutnud sularahaks teha.
Because he was ill prepared to do what he was committing to do.
Sest ta ei olnud valmistunud või valmis selleks, mida ta tõotas teha. Ta ei olnud valmis tegema seda, mida ta tõotas teha.
It is like when I pastored a church, people would say to me, Pastor, I'm with you.
See oli samamoodi, kui ma olin pastor, siis inimesed ütlesid, pastor, ma olen sinuga.
And they would say, I'm right behind you.
Olen su taga.
And many times I would have to look a long way back to see how far they were behind me.
Ja siis ma pidin sageli vaatama kaugele selja taha, et näha, kui kaugel nad on mu taga.
Because they really were behind me.
Sest nad tõesti olid mu taga.
What they had done was written a check they could not cash.
Mida nad olid teinud, nad olid kirjutanud tšeki, mida nad ei suutnud sularahaks teha.
You see, until you count the cost, you have no idea what it really will cost you.
Kuni sa ei arvesta seda hinda, sul ei ole aimu ka, mida see sulle maksma läheb.
And what people sometimes will have the tendency to do is overcommit when the Lord is not really requiring that of you.
Ja mõnikord, mida inimesed teevad, on see, et nad nagu pühenduvad liiga paljule, aga Jumal ei ole neid kutsunud selleks üldse.
Now remember what Peter said. I'll lay my life down for you.
Mida Peetrus ütles, et ma annan oma elu sinu eest.
Look at what Jesus said in response.
Vaata, mida Jeesus siis vastusena ütles.
Jesus answered him in verse 38, Wilt thou lay thy life for my sake? Will you lay down your life for my sake?
Jeesus vastas, kas sina annad oma elu minu eest?
Is he really saying this from a position of shock, or is he trying to shock Peter into reality?
Kas tema ütles seda šokis olles või ta püüdis Peetrust šokeerida reaalsusesse?
How many of you understand you cannot shock Jesus by overcommitting?
Kui paljud teist teavad, et sa ei saa Jeesust šokeerida oma innuka pühendumisega või üle pühendumisega?
Because most of the time he knows that your spirit is willing, but your flesh is weak.
Sellepärast, et ta teab, et enamus kordadest su vaim on valmis, aga liha on nõrk.
It is just like people are counting the cost concerning this that we call the Apostellik today.
See on sarnane, nagu inimesed nagu arvestavad hinda selle kohta, mida me nimetame apostolikuks.
And you're having those who say, I'm with the Reformation message all the way. And they have not counted the cost.
Ja nad ütlevad, et ma olen selle reformi liikumisega kaasas, aga nad ei ole arvestanud seda hinda.
And so someone like me would come along and say, oh yeah, you're really with this Reformation message?
Ja siis keegi minu sarnane tuleb ja ütleb, et kas sa tõesti oled selle reformatsiooni liikumisega kaasas?
Do you think I'm surprised if they are not with it?
Ja mis sa arvad, kas ma olen üllatunud, kui ma leian, et nad ei ole kaasas?
My answer to you is no.
Mu vastus on ei.
Because you must count the costs.
Sellepärast, et sa pead arvestama hinda.
Before you commit.
Enne kui sa pühendud.
So what I'm really saying to you is that Jesus was not shocked by Peter's commitment here.
Nii et mida ma ütlen sellega on see, et Jeesust ei šokeerinud see Peetruse pühendumus.
So he brought him to reality.
Ta tõi tema reaalsusesse.
He said, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, the cock shall not crow till thou hast denied me thrice.
Tõesti, tõesti, ma ütlen sulle. Kukk ei laula enne, kui sina oled mind juba 3 korda salanud.
Do you think Peter at that moment came tumbling out of the heavens back to earth?
Mis sa arvad, kas Peetrus tuli sealt veeredest taevast alla maa peale?
Because you see, when you're really high in the spirit, you say all kinds of things.
Sellepärast, et kui sa oled väga kõrgel vaimus, siis sa ütled väga igasuguseid asju.
But when you tumble back down to earth, you say fewer things.
aga kui sa oled tagasi maa peal, siis sa ütled vähem asju.
Many years ago, when we would talk about storming the gates of hell and getting kingdom building material, you can do that when you're in worship because you're really high.
Palju aastaid tagasi, kui me rääkisime põrguväravate mahakiskumisest ja ehitusmaterjali saamiseks kuningriigile, siis sa võid öelda neid sõnu, kui sa oled nagu väga kõrgel vaimus kuskil.
But I have found that when most people encounter real demons, they run like rabbits.
Aga ma olen leidnud, et kui enamus inimesi, kui nad kohtuvad päris teemonitega, siis nad jooksevad nagu jänesed.
We say lots of things when we're high in the spirit.
Me ütleme palju asju, kui me oleme vaimus.
The truth, though, is can we live what we have spoken?
Aga tõde on selles, kas me elame selle kohaselt, mida me oleme rääkinud.
Now we've got two things going on here.
Ja nüüd siin on toimumas kaks asja.
Two things that will produce troubled hearts.
Kaks asja, mis toovad esile murelikud südamed.
One was to all the disciples, the statement that Jesus made, I am leaving, I'm going someplace, and you cannot go with me right now.
Üks oli see, mida Jeesus oli öelnud kõigile jüngritele, et ma lahkun ja teie ei saa praegu tulla sinna.
The other was personal to Peter.
Ja teine oli isiklik Peetrusele.
Peter said, I'll die with you. And Jesus said, oh no, you are about to deny me.
Peetrus ütleb, et ma suren koos sinuga, aga Jeesus ütleb, et ei, sa oled mind kohe reetmas.
So 10 men had a single case of heart trouble. 10 men had a single case of heart trouble.
10 mehel oli see üks südamemure põhjus.
Peter had a double case of heart trouble.
Aga Peetrusel kahekordne.
He could not go where Jesus was going, and he could not die with Jesus when he died.
Ta ei saanud minna sinna, kus Jeesus oli minemas, ja ta ei saanud surra Jeesusega, kui ta suri.
So now we begin chapter 14. Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled.
Ja siis me alustame salmi 14 või 14 peatükki.
Don't permit your heart. See, the concept of let is refuse to permit your heart to be troubled.
Keeldu oma südamel laskmast muretsemast.
Now what that means is that you can choose to let your heart be troubled.
Mida see tähendab, on see, et sa võid valida, kas sa lased omal südamel muretseda või mitte.
But what Jesus is inviting us to do is don't let your heart be troubled.
Aga mida Jeesus kutsub meid tegema, on see, et ta ütleb, et ära lase oma südamel
What would be the opposite of
muretseda.
trouble?
Mis on siis selle muretsemise vastand?
What would be the opposite of a troubled heart?
Mis on muretseva või ehmunud südame vastand?
The answer is in John 14.
Vastus on siin Johannese 14.
And it's right at the close of the chapter.
Ja see on kohe peatüki lõpus.
Jesus said, my peace I give unto you.
Jeesus ütles, oma rahu ma annan teile.
That's the solution for their troubled heart.
See on lahendus nende mures südamele.
His peace
Tema rahu
instead of their trouble.
nende mure asemel.
Now let's look at what is in between.
Vaatame, mis nüüd seal vahepeal on.
Verse 2,
Salm 2.
that very, very, very important verse.
See väga, väga, väga oluline salm.
He said, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you.
Minu isa majas on palju eluasemeid või inglise keeles mõisaid. Kui see nõnda ei oleks, kas ma siis oleksin teile öelnud, et ma lähen teile aset valmistama?
Now, on the surface, that sounds like Jesus is leaving. He's going someplace to prepare or build something, arrange it, and then he's going to give that to them.
Nagu pinnapealselt või algselt vaadates võiks justkui lugeda, et Jeesus on kuskile minemas, et midagi ehitada või ette valmistada selleks, et seda meile anda.
But what I want to do is bring you back to the dominion mandate.
Aga mida ma tahan teha, on see, et tuua sind tagasi selle valitsemise mandaadi juurde.
Everything Jesus thought, spoke, and did was connected to the dominion mandate.
kõik, mida Jeesus mõtles, rääkis ja tegi, oli seotud selle valitsemise mandaadiga.
Where was the dominion mandate to work?
Kus pidi see valitsemise mandaat toimima?
Was it in heaven or on earth?
Kas taevas või maa peal?
On the earth, correct?
Maa peal.
So, how does this fit into the dominion mandate?
Nii et kuidas siis see sobib sinna valitsemise mandaati?
I propose to you that there are considerations going on here that you will miss if you are thinking about leaving the earth.
Ma ütleksin, et siin on midagi, milles sa paned mööda või sa ei saa aru, kui sa mõtled või pead silmas maa pealt lahkumist.
Verse 3, he said, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am. Ja salm 3 ütleb, ja kui ma olen läinud ja teile aseme valmistanud, tulen ma jälle tagasi ja võtan teid kaasa enese juurde, et teiegi oleksite seal, kus olen mina. He said, there ye may be also.
Et teiegi võiksite seal olla, kus olen mina.
And then in verse 4 he said, and whither I go you know not, and the way you know not.
Salm 4, kuhu ma lähen, sinna te teate teed.
Now look at this. He said, and whither I go you know, yes, and the way you know. That's verse 4. And whither I go you know, and the way you know. Verse 4.
Salm 4 ütleb, et inglise keeles ütleb, et ja kuhu ma lähen, seda te teate ja sinna te teate ka teed.
Tell me how that says. Interesting. Because in verse 5 Thomas saith unto him, Lord, we know not whither thou goest, and how can we know the way? Now Jesus is saying, you know. Thomas is saying, we don't know.
Sellele vastusena Toomas ütleb, et issand, me ei tea, kuhu sa lähed. Kuidas me siis võime teed sinna teada? Eesti keeles lihtsalt siit 4. salmis oli puudu see, et kuhu ma lähen, seda te teate.
Now who's telling the truth, Jesus or Thomas?
Nüüd, kumb siin nüüd rääkis tõde, kas Jeesus või Toomas?
Hello? Who's telling the truth, Jesus or Thomas?
Kes rääkis tõde, Jeesus või Toomas?
Jesus said, you know. Thomas said, we don't know.
Jeesus ütles, te teate, Toomas ütles, me ei tea.
So look at verse 6. Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
Salm 6, Jeesus ütles talle, mina olen tee ja tõde ja elu. Ükski ei saa minna isa juurde muidu kui minu kaudu.
Thomas was looking for something outside of the concept of I am.
Toomas otsis või vaatas, mõtles millelegi väljaspool seda mina olen konteksti.
Because truth is not just an idea. The way is not just an idea. Life is not just an idea. It finds reality in a person.
Sellepärast, et tõde iseenesest ei ole ainult idee, tee ei ole idee ja elu ei ole iseenesest idee, vaid see leiab tegelikkuse ühes isikus.
And it finds reality in the person of Jesus.
Ja see leiab selle reaalsuse Jeesuse isikus.
So it is right back to my point. The highest expression of anything is when someone becomes the thing.
Nii et tagasi mu mõtte juurde, et millegi kõrgeimaks reaalsuseks on see, kui ta saab millekski.
You with me?
Olete kaasas?
Ladies, you with me?
Ka daamid seal, olete kaasas?
So look at the focus here.
Vaatame seda fookust siin.
He said, no man cometh unto the Father.
Keegi ei saa tulla isa juurde.
So the whole idea here in modern religion has completely reversed what Jesus was doing. Modern religion has reversed what Jesus was doing.
Kaasaegne religioon on keeranud ümber kõik selle, mida Jeesus tegi.
The way modern religion reads this verse is,
Kaasaegne religioon loeb seda salmi.
You can only go to heaven through Jesus.
Öeldes, sa võid minna taevasse Jeesuse läbi.
Because they turned this into a heaven thing.
Sest nad teevad sellest taeva asja.
But what Jesus was talking about was coming to the Father.
Aga millest Jeesus rääkis, oli isa juurde tulemisest.
How many of you understand you don't have to go to heaven to come to the Father?
Kui paljud teist mõistavad, et te ei pea minema taevasse selleks, et isa juurde minna?
In fact, what Jesus did was brought the Father to us.
Ja mida Jeesus tegi, oli see, et ta tõi isa meile.
And it is through him that we come into the Father.
Ja tema läbi me läheme isa juurde.
What really was he saying? What was he saying here?
Mida ta ütles siin?
That Adam has been disconnected from his father.
Et Aadam on olnud lahutatud oma isast.
But I am the reconnection of Adam back to his father.
Aga mina olen see taas ühendamine isaga.
That's what the whole issue is about.
Selles kogu see küsimus oligi.
It was never about going someplace.
Asi ei olnud kunagi kuskile minemises.
Hear me carefully here. Hear me carefully.
Kuulake mind hoolikalt.
It is not the disappearing of the saints. It is the coming of the Lord.
Asi ei ole pühade ärakadumises, vaid issanda tulemises.
And until we get that straight, we will be teaching ideas that are inconsistent with the scripture.
Kuni me ei saa seda asja paika või selgeks, me õpetame asju, mis ei ole kooskõlas pühakirjaga.
Because if you say coming of the Lord today, someone will immediately think disappearing of the church.
Sest kui keegi täna ütleb issanda tulemine, siis inimesed kohe mõtlevad koguduse ärakadumist.
But all God is saying is, I'm showing up in a way that you have not entertained me before.
Aga mida Jumal ütleb on see, et ma ilmun kohale viisil, mida sa ei ole varem kogenud.
I'm just about done here. I'm getting happy.
Ma kohe olen
My
lõpetamas.
hoop is just about to come on.
Väga rõõmsaks saamas ja...
Can you imagine Tina hooping in Estonian?
Do they know what it means?
Do you know what hooping
Kas te
means?
teate, mida tähendab hooping?
You would like to know what hooping means.
You will do it, not me.
No, you got to do it if I do it. Hooping is nothing but just adding a little bit of singing to your preaching.
Hooping on lihtsalt see, et sa lisad oma jutlustamisse veidi sükest laulmist.
See, it would be like this. It would be something like this. And Jesus said,
Should I do it? Kas ma peaks tegema seda? Ja Jeesus ütles.
I guess it works. You guys know whether it works.
Te peate otsustama, kas sobis või mitte.
John 14.
Johannese 14.
Over 20 times Jesus speaks about the Father.
Üle 20 korra Jeesus räägib isast.
So you would have to say the central thought of this chapter is the Father.
Nii et sa pead ütlema, et selle peatüki keskne osa on isa.
It is focusing on the Father.
See on fookus isale.
So it's like a conversation has been developed out of this that it was never about.
Ja sellest on välja arendatud mingisugune vestlus, millest see tegelikult ei ole kunagi olnud.
Because their concern is Jesus is leaving, they're troubled.
Sest nende mure on see, et Jeesus on lahkumas ja see on neile tekitanud kitsikust.
Now think like a child here for a moment. Think like a child.
Mõtle siin hetkeks nagu laps.
If your parent tell you, I am leaving,
Kui sinu üks vanematest ütleb, et ma
you
lahkun,
cannot go with me,
sa ei saa minuga kaasa tulla,
how would you feel?
kuidas sa tunneksid ennast siis?
You would be sad unless you understood this was not the end of everything.
Sa oleksid kurb, kui sa ei teaks.
He said because something else is going to occur.
Et see ei ole asja lõpp, sa tead, et midagi veel on juhtumas.
He said, I'm preparing something right now so that there's a reconnection that's going to take place.
Ta ütleb, et ma valmistun midagi ette, nii et saaks toimuda üks taasühendamine.
And in case you're wondering how this is going to happen, it's going to happen through the reality of who I am.
Ja kui midagi juhtub, siis see juhtub läbi selle reaalsuse, kes mina olen.
Because when Jesus uses this idea in my Father's house,
Sellepärast, et kui Jeesus kasutab seda ideed, et minu isa kojas,
can you understand how a first century person heard that?
kas sa kujutad ette, kuidas esimese sajandi inimene seda mõistis?
They did not hear a building away someplace on another planet out there.
Siis nemad ei kuulnud seda kui ühte paika kusagil väljaspool teisel planeedil.
They understood the concept Father's house meant a man's family.
Nad teadsid, et see isa koda tähendab ühe mehe perekonda.
That's a Hebrew understanding. That's a Hebrew saying.
See on heebrea arusaamine.
Now look at how much this would change if the modern church would read it that way.
Vaata, kui palju see muutuks, kui kaasaegne kogudus loeks seda sellisel viisil.
I could give you many examples, and I think I will. We'll just take a break here for a bit and come back and reconsider this, because I want you to see what's at stake here.
Viimane mõte.
If a parent deserts a child,
Kui vanem jätab oma lapse maha,
what does that child become in
Siis-
society?
Kelleks see laps saab ühiskonnas?
Everybody?
Kas kõik jäävad orvuks?
Here's the problem.
Probleem on selles.
We had men who were behaving like orphans,
Meil olid mehed, kes käitusid nagu orvud.
and Jesus had to arrest that behavior,
Ja Jeesus pidi nagu arreteerima sellise käitumise.
because the entire kingdom of God and its operation is being committed to these men.
Sellepärast, et kogu Jumala kuningriik ja selle toimimine anti nagu nende meeste kätte.
And if they're behaving like orphans, what will they reproduce?
Ja kui nemad käituvad kui orvud, mida nad siis toodavad edasi?
Do you think God was interested in producing an orphaned family?
Mis te arvate, kas Jumal oli huvitatud ühe orvuks jäänud perekonna tootmisest,
I tell you
esile
no.
toomisest? Ma ütlen ei.
So Jesus had to arrest this,
Nii et Jeesus pidi sellega tegelema, selle kõrvaldama.
and he did with specific promises.
Ja ta tegi seda väga konkreetsete tõotustega.